So here they come, the two sides for tonight's encounter. Here at Loftus, a big warm welcome to William Shongwe, who was at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium on Saturday. Mamelodi Sundowns looked good in the first half, but then it didn't go according to plan in the second half.
Well, for me, I think the strategy that Chipa applies is what saved them. And can every of the other teams that will play Mamelodi Sundowns apply themselves in that fashion? That, for me, is the big question. The whether Zwane and AmaZulu will be able tactically to hold their ground. They are playing away from home. They can't play too adventurous.
Rian Hanemub leading his side across to meet the two teams. Let's introduce you to tonight's protagonists, starting with the home side, Mamelodi Sundowns. 5 changes tonight, 3 in defence. Donyewa comes in on the right, Lunga on the left, Basadine and Modiba drop out, and Kiano Cupido in for Lebusa. And then Letlaku and Zwane in attacking roles tonight.
Well, Zwane for me is the player that might look to open up a bit more of the chances that maybe lacked over the weekend against Chipa. But the club with the youngster as well is another that I'm looking forward to see just how he can grow with his ability to play a little bit more forward.
Now AmaZulu unchanged from their win against Orbit College. Keegan Allen, of course, scored on his debut in the MTN8. Bongani Zungu, ex-Mamelodi Sundowns, and leading the line, the new signing from Zimbabwe, Thando Ngwenya.
Well, Ngwenya, of course, we've seen quite a bit of him in the Mayor's Cup in Richards Bay, that is, but it will all depend on Zungu and Exton, a little bit behind him in that middle of the park, how they play him some balls where he could make himself useful in front of goal.
Miguel Cardoso in charge of Mamelodi Sundowns, winner of the Coach of the Season award as he took the team to the title, up against Arthur Zwane, of course, who is leading AmaZulu tonight. Our referee, Mr. Kuta, comes from Fort Beaufort in the Eastern Cape. Elfas Sitole and Temrikosi Mangai, Sebokeng and Tebecha, respectively. Experienced refereeing lineup for tonight's encounter. Of course, the reminder to both goalkeepers there, as far as the 8-second rule is concerned. Everybody's getting that little pep talk before the start of the game. Now to the coin toss, and then we'll get on with the action. This is AmaZulu readying themselves. I'm not so sure they would have wanted to play Mamelodi Sundowns this early in the season, but a good test of what is a refashioned squad. They let go a lot of players at the end of the last campaign. Real clean out, William Shongwe, looking to freshen things up for the new season.
Playing Mamelodi Sundowns after their loss of the weekend, you know, you might get a backlash from that. But I think after Zwane and the team having been inspired by their 1-0 win on the weekend, also might just work positively in setting them on the right foot.
Now tell us a little bit about the AmaZulu clean out at the end of last season. What's the thinking behind all of that?
Try and reduce the average edge. Because, you know, yes, you can have experience, but sometimes it's lacking in as far as the energy throughout the game. You can get them in patches throughout the game, but these youngsters will run all day long, and you need that from a young squad. Yes, they might not have them. That's why they've got experience in certain parts of the team, just to help guide these youngsters. That is the story I got from the coach.
Rian Hanemub leading the AmaZulu team today. Themba Zwane wearing the captain's armband for the home side. So we're ready to get matters underway. A first game at Loftus for Mamelodi Sundowns, the first home league match of the season as well. They did win against Richards Bay in the MTN8, but that game played at Atteridgeville. And remember, last season, 14 home matches for Mamelodi Sundowns. They won them all. 100% home record in the league campaign, and 40 goals as well scored at home matches. So they'll be looking to keep that up in today's encounter. AmaZulu, in contrast, lost 8 of the 14 away games they played in the last league campaign. So something they will be looking to remedy in terms of away form. So the changes, William, tonight in the back. We've seen Basadine surprisingly at right back, but Bunyelwa comes in. Of course, Kuliso Mudau is still a little question mark over his future at Mamelodi Sundowns. Hasn't been involved in the opening 3 matches. And the other glaring absentee, of course, is Lucas Ribeiro. They're going to miss him
a great deal. You know, you'll expect just about all the teams that play Mamelodi Sundowns to hold a low block or even a middle at that, meaning that it'll be very difficult for them to come out to able to break it down. With Ribeiro, obviously, use his individual brilliance to open up defense. He's not there, and that might not happen as much. That, for me, is one of the biggest challenges. But at least you got Zwane, who knows the time, who times his run into the box excellently. And that's what we'd like to see him as he recovers from a long-term injury, of course, which is what kept him out of action last season.
This is the second start of the new campaign for Themba Zwane. He made a cameo appearance off the bench on Saturday as well.
Very unlucky because he had a chance, a brilliant opportunity where he tried to bend the ball into the far post. It took the brilliance of Nobali to save it.
Sundowns' last home defeat in the league, by the way, was in the final game of the previous season. You remember they were about to have an unbeaten campaign. Jaden Rhodes scored. Cape Town City will beat them here by a 1-0 to spoil their party.
Couldn't believe that it could happen at that stage. That would have been historical for Rulani Mokoena at the time.
And then he got the chop.
If you win the league and you lose one game a season, you still get the chop. It's difficult stuff. Very high
tough game, William. Right, here's Grant Kukana, who has played all 3 matches, very much the anchor in that back 4. Now Mokoena. Gets away from the youngster Leclerc, the 19-year-old who's starting only his 3rd career match tonight. Excuse me, his 4th. He had 1 in competition the last time he started the game for Sundowns in January. Also had 1 in the MTN8 right at the beginning of last season against Stellenbosch, and a league game against Polokwane City where he was amongst the goals. So Leclerc with the first start since January will be relishing the opportunity. Now the chase. Look at the sweeper. Williams not that convincing, but Cupido is there to the rescue.
First of all, the way it came out for me was off a keeper that was alert, saw the danger, but that ball, listen, is what almost caught him flat-footed with the wet conditions, this being a night game. So that ball just didn't land and bounced up. It kind of skidded in front, a little bit closer to him for him to clear the way he would have loved it.
This ground, of course, shared with the mighty Bulls in rugby, and so it's not the most perfect surface, but doesn't look too bad for tonight's encounter.
Not bad at all. I'll just take the opportunity to be able to do a little bit of a walkabout. Maybe not all over the pitch, but look to this side. Not bad at all, listen. Like I said, for me, it's not that the pitch is bumpy or anything, but it's wet, which is always a challenge for any player playing it tonight.
Sundowns, as we mentioned, away at Orlando Pirates at the weekend, and then they've got 3 successive league matches away from home. Magesi, Chiefs and Stellenbosch before the end of the month. Plus they'll play at home, of course, in the second leg of the MTN8 semi-final against Orlando Pirates. So before the end of this month, including tonight, 5 matches still to go. Lunga blocked. Oh, a little tug back there by Lunga, but well, that's a real battle. Some nice pace being displayed down that flank, and referee quite rightly allowing play to continue too. There's a ball to the back post. Oh, there was a little half chance. Pule Eksteen, who these days is amongst the oldest players in the lineup. Lovely running from Khadebe.
It's a power round, listen. With all the pressure from Lunga, he continues to pave his way forward, sees the opportunity. I'm not sure if he was trying to find action or was he trying to lock the goalkeeper, but the reading and the timing of Exton as well could have easily put it past, but it was a difficult ball once again.
So that's what Sundowns are going to try and avoid tonight, as was the case against Chippa on Saturday. The little quick counters and the pace that the opposition looked to bring. Mashiko, a product of AmaZulu, has been in the first team squad for the last 3-4 seasons, but now only really bursting into the team.
It's the story of the rest defense. So for all the teams that plays a little bit high, going forward, that is in their build-up phase. And the team that sits back always depends mostly from transition play when they win the ball.
AmaZulu home next Wednesday night against Marumo Gallants in the league. They, of course, do not play the weekend, eliminated from the MTN8. A very exciting clash with Stellenbosch. And then they've got 2 games on the road before the end of the month. Both of them up in Limpopo, Sekhukhune United and Magesi. And there's a 3-day gap between the two, so one would presume they just stay up there. Now here's Mokoena. Cross is hit with far too much power, and we will have a goal kick here. Chance for AmaZulu to clear their lines. Darren Johnson in goal for AmaZulu tonight. Again, the second successive match. Richard Ofori had that bad knock to the face in the MTN8 against Stellenbosch. He's still working his way back.
Here's my biggest worry for AmaZulu. By now, we should know that Mamelodi Sundowns are going to apply the high press. So you've got to be very cautious in the way that you try to build up from the back. And sometimes they don't obviously just play deliberately, or should I say apply an obvious high press. They kind of trap you as if they're not there. But the minute you start, they suddenly nab you. And that is what AmaZulu needs to be aware of.
Williams flirting with danger again, but he does that all the time. I remember the game against Dortmund in the Club World Cup where he gave away an early equalizer after Sundowns had started well.
That is exactly, that was a trap right there. Sometimes the opposition, if they're good at it, they'll play as if they're nowhere near applying the high press. But in the meantime, they just open it deliberately just to give the impression that they're not there. But the minute you put the press, immediately they're on top of you.
And a move with the foul. Dunyoa is the player brought down. This young man on the right-hand side's got a chance in the absence of Mudau to maybe just forge a regular place for himself after being pretty much the backup in the last campaign. Always difficult to dislodge Khuliso Mudau from the starting lineup. Sign, of course, of Chippa United. And one almost with an eye to the future. Johnson also arriving from Chippa United.
A lot of business was done during this off-season by Chippa.
There's been a lot of business by a lot of teams, to be honest with you, William. There's been nice and busy this transfer window. And of course it only closes in September, so I fancy a little bit more business to be done as the teams look to see how they do in these opening exchanges and then maybe strengthen their squads. What was that? Alende and Letlaku with some routine that must have worked well on the dry pitch at Kruikop, but on the wet here tonight, on both sides they're struggling with the conditions. Sales gets caught by a lazy challenge there really from Zungu.
an environment that Zulu knows very well, having spent a number of years here. Mamelodi Sundowns.
Not as long as I think he would have liked to have stayed here. Didn't really make. He came from France, of course, where he was playing top football there and played at Glasgow Rangers as well. Second spell with the club, but didn't see too much in the way of action under Coach Mokoena. Now here's Saleh. It's good running down the flank from Lunga. Ryan Lunga got the nod over Aubrey Modiba at the Club World Cup as the first choice left back. He played all of the games. This is his first start of this new campaign. Mokoena, him and Allende, of course, regular features in this lineup. Oh, that almost drops in there, and what's the referee going to do? He says it's a corner. Well, Sundowns protesting, but maybe there was a foul in there, but maybe another slip, William, you think?
We'll have a chance to review it when the opportunity avails itself. Yeah, Zwane, I think he was losing balance, Christian.
Yeah, there didn't seem to be much contact. There was a little chance there for De Klerk with the left foot. He snatched it as well, and well, they've got the corner out of it. Here it comes. And that'll be a good confidence-building catch from Johnson, but the referee says there was another ball on the field, so we're going to have the corner taken again. Johnson, product from Ajax Cape Town originally, but didn't get a chance to play in the first team there. Here's Allende. Good, strong clearing header at the back from Tariq Phillies. It's one of the oldies that they kept, Phillies. Klaku unable to hold on to that. Wenya gets it out wide. David began his career with TS Galaxy, moved in the January transfer window. On the right-hand side, taking the place these days of Sikakane, who was such a long-serving player at AmaZulu, one of the many that they released at the end of the last campaign. Now chase is on here, and Cupido gets caught from behind. And the decision is going to go against Teboko Mashiko. Laundry tomorrow. They were inside to Allende to complete the pass.
Not in the same wavelength as Allende, with the run from Mtonyela.
Really needs in the next few weeks to solidify this right back role. It's a wonderful chance for him. Needs some really solid performances.
And unfortunately, it's not only about defending for him. What Ndao does, even Moreno for that matter, is their movement going forward, opening up the right inside of the width of the field, and those right backs are a big part of the attack in modern football. So if you're only just going to sit and defend, then those with the ability to go forward will always have an edge over you.
Fellow Moreno, by the way, still struggling a little with injury. That just gets away up front from Klangabeza, homegrown product. Anamo putting a bit of pressure here. Allende. Sundowns still with possession. And Klaku gives the ball away. He's looked a bundle of nerves actually since starting, and Gwenya does well. Back to Zungu. Immediately on top of Zungu, Zwane and Allende. Tetwa. Remember last season he got a hat-trick in Tetwa in the Cup. Not often a centre-back scores a hat-trick. I don't think it's ever... You might remember a hat-trick from a centre-back. I don't. It was a cup game against amateur opposition, so it does take a little of the gloss off, but you still in the record books, Sandile and Tatwa, with that 3-goal haul in the Nedbank Cup earlier on this year.
But for me, even bigger is some of the goals that he was able to score who was still at Orlando Pirates.
Some vital ones, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
some in the very last minutes, a la Happy Jele, who used to make a habit of late winners or late equalizers. Zungu now.
But look at the bodies. Look at the yellow sheds all around him. Forcing him. They can't allow him to turn.
Anamurp. That's asking far too much. Zwane having a bit of a go at his striker Ngwenya. Feels he's not moving as much as he should. Siboniso Vilakazi and Simo Dladla are his assistants. That's Simo Dladla there chewing away on the bench, who won the Motsepe Foundation Championship with Durban City.
Big reward for him. Having been let go by Durban City, and AmaZulu welcomed him immediately. And you can understand that the experience of Betway Premiership coaching, whether you are an assistant or even the head coach, that's just means so much.
Zwane now rides the challenge from Klangabeza in from Sales. This will be cleared away by Tetwa. Zungu as well. Lunga gets a little touch in there. Allende. Now there are two other matches tonight in the Betway Premiership. Coverage, of course, on your World of Champions. And Orlando Pirates playing away in Bloemfontein against Marumo Gallants. After a disappointing opening league match of the season last Saturday against Sekhukhune, are in the lead against Marumo Gallants. We hear Patrick Tito Swakanye has got the opener there. Auburn College against Siwelele is the other match tonight. That's been moved from Rustenburg to Dobsonville. No score in the early stages of that one.
Make no mistake, listen. You spoke about the high press of Mamelodi Sundowns. AmaZulu applying pressure of their own in the middle of the park. Maybe not so high as that of Mamelodi Sundowns, but also they're making it very hard for Mamelodi Sundowns to play through the middle. That, for me, is a strategy that can work, but you don't want to do it a little bit higher, because then it leaves you very open behind the defensive line.
Well, skidding off this wet surface tonight. Not only are the players slipping all over the place, but those long balls need to be hit with real accuracy, a little bit of backspin as well you would look for, because otherwise they just skid off the surface and get away from the player chasing onto them. Allende finds Cupido. Frustrating first 6 months of the club for Keanu Cupido after he's moved from Cape Town City. Only appeared in a couple of games as a substitute, and all of a sudden he was the first choice centre-back along with Kankana at the Club World Cup. Played all 3 matches there and really did exceedingly well. So much so that it'll be interesting to see if he gets a berth in the Bafana squad, which should be announced in the next week or so for those World Cup games against Lesotho and Nigeria next month. Here's Letlaku now. Letlaku to Reyners, blocked by Keegan Allen.
I thought Letlaku had an opportunity to strike this ball from that range. You've just been talking about the wetness of the grass, and the ground shot, even from that range, will give the goalkeeper all kinds of problems. Style of the balls that getting into that space for Mamelodi Sundowns. Look at Salas, he's drifting further and further away from where you want him to be.
Mokoena, Munga, Sales, and Allende out wide on the left. He has got some support. Zwane drifting in. Mokoena looking to find Sales with a little pass there. Maybe that first touch a bit strong, and now there comes Hanemub down this left-hand side. Trademark from the Namibian international. Ball inside, and this might be a chance. Well, a hesitation from AmaZulu. I think they were waiting for the flag. But both Ngwenya and Mashiko might well have done a little bit better there on that pass from Hanemub. Flag stayed down.
I think there might have been offside, but Mashiko was the man who came from a little bit behind. I think he was onside, and it's his reluctance to execute right from the beginning that robbed AmaZulu the opportunity. But I guess Ronwin coming out must have put him off a little bit.
Well, we'll have a little look to see whether they were when the action stops here, William, but I think you might be right. But my reaction was offside, and I think the Mamelodi Sundowns defence slowed down in expectation, and so did AmaZulu.
But Mashiko, who was onside, saw the opportunity and kept going. And that's why I think if it had scored, it would have counted. But yes, Ngwenya maybe was the problem. Ngwenya and Hadebe.
Well, this is the man who missed the opportunity, Mashiko. He will be kicking himself now. Let's have a look for a potential offside. Very, very tight. Maybe, well, you're right, Mashiko coming late, but that's a very poor finish.
Yeah.
Ngwenya lets it go, maybe feeling he is offside.
Yes.
And then Mashiko just trying to open up his body and put it wide of Ronwin Williams.
Conditions, once again, for me, got to be able to know exactly how you approach this. That ball is going to skid a little bit faster than under normal circumstances.
Well, that must go down as a chance for AmaZulu. Now, is there an opportunity for Mamelodi Sundowns? Whistle has blown.
Was it for offside? Was it pushing?
Well, that's not offside.
No. That's why I say maybe pushing.
Yeah, I think the referee blew his whistle very quickly, so he must have seen something in there. I'm sure in a future universe, William, we will have the referees explaining things immediately on a microphone.
Yes.
I did just given that as an offside, ladies and gentlemen, they will all know. Now, Ronwin Williams. Is he injured or is he not injured? Oh, look at the recovery there. Well, feels he got a bit of a knock on the back of the neck. Of course, a tactical move here because it allows both sides to go to the benches and to coaches having an opportunity to maybe do some corrections and get some messages through.
Of course, which will be a big worry for Cardoso, who I think Sarri's game against Chipa, you know, they were there. They created some good openings, but they didn't take the opportunities. They held the ball nicely. I think 72% of ball position was in their favor. But it's the playing areas that maybe were a big concern. And the number of conversion, I think 12 chances created and only 4 were on target. Those are big concern that you can actually put your finger on. And though the big question is, will the coach have had enough time to be able to deal with those? It's ongoing training, finishing. It's ongoing throughout the season.
Well, it looks as if we can resume. Williams, by the way, just a handful of matches, around about 5 from reaching 500 starts in his career. And only 2 players have got there previously, William. Idris Burton has the record, and Neil Toby, over 500 starts in South African Football League and Cup appearances. Not coming off the bench, but actually starting the games.
Wow. Wow. Starting at 18 gives you, as a goalkeeper, that opportunity, yeah? And sometimes playing all games throughout the season and more if you include the cup games.
He's averaged 40 and over the last 2 campaigns with Mamelodi Sundowns since arriving from Supersport United. And of course he was a regular and had 1 or 2 ever-present seasons. That's a pretty hefty number.
He's one of those that will easily make it to the 40s.
Age of 32 for a goalkeeper is
young.
25 for an outfield player, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of them go in a little bit too long. Chance here into Johnson's arms, fairly comfortably picked up.
On his toes is Johnson, because I don't think Salis gave him much time to think about that. Because as soon as it ended, it was a great first touch.
Now, no way through there for Mashiko. Here comes Sundowns again. Rain is out on the left. Mokoena. Cupido. Now the cross inside. That was a good block. Only as far as Mamelodi Sundowns with Sales and Allende. Just looking for an opening now. As you pointed out earlier, this is where Ribeiro would have made such a big difference. So good at finding those spaces against the packed defence.
Yes, you can try combinations, but if the team has set a low block in that fashion and they're playing so tight, very compact, it makes it difficult even for great combinations to come through.
Good running again down that right flank from Khadebe. Inviting ball inside, and Ngwenya does not get the touch he was looking for.
He's a goal poacher. He doesn't do a lot of running, but when he runs directly into the center of the box. And his goals, from what I pick up from his country, was that they're tap-ins for most of the time, almost like that one. So it's his timing that he makes when he runs into the box, and you don't need to do much except for a clinical touch. Got ahead of the defender.
Yep. And this was very close in the end. Signed from Platinum in Zimbabwe. They had their league season still in the calendar year. They start in January, February and end in November, and he was leading the goal scoring charts midway through the campaign. Now Tariq Philly's in unfamiliar territory. To get himself back quickly. Marlon Mokoena. So half an hour gone here, William Shongwe. It's not a game with the kind of tempo that I think the fans would have been hoping for, particularly on a lovely evening for playing football, weather-wise.
The spark clearly is not there. I mean, what we saw against in the top 8 in the MTN 8 was not in the same class. And in the last 2 games, obviously the Betway Premiership games, they seem to have dropped the tempo with which they played. There could be a lot of reason, Cleason. Remember, they just came back from the World Club football, and pre-season only about 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't need a long pre-season if you've just had 3 weeks holiday. You should, and the coach even said he was very impressed with the players coming back in excellent condition, pretty much where they left off when they left America.
But now the challenge is you need the player to start on a high because they've rested. But if you rested that well, just how much can you give as far as that intensity in the way that you play? Because when you start playing that way,
3 weeks not enough to rest?
No. The body has got to like calm down completely and then restart the clock.
Now out comes Williams. He could be in a bit of trouble here. Up into the night sky. Mokoena and Eckstein battling away. Zungu foot up. Zungu with genesis of his career also here in the nation's capital at Amatax, University of Pretoria, where he first made his name. Keegan Allen gets the header. Sales with a good first touch. Mokoena quickly out to Lunga. Finds Sales. That's better from Mamelodi Sundowns. Of course, Tembazwane with a lovely little touch. Well, there's the brains trust of the club, and there's the man they have employed to bring them success. Letlaku now. Reyners. Sales. Allende. Still trying to forge an opening here, Mamelodi Sundowns. Gets away from Reyners, and AmaZulu always looking dangerous on the counter, but possession back with the champions, with Lunga. Has gone, spent a lot of time out on that left-hand side in these early stages. Allende.
Not enough shooting, Gleason. I mean, there's great moments that Sundowns has created, maybe about 45 yards or so away, but there's a small window of an opening where you can strike the ball from that range, but they still want to walk it in. It hasn't been easy. It's not easy with the number of bodies or white shirts sitting behind the ball.
Donkakana underneath this for Mamelodi Sundowns. We are edging closer to half-time here, just over 10 minutes remaining at Loftus Versfeld. Tomorrow night, don't forget live coverage. Kaizer Chiefs against Polokwane City from Soccer City in Johannesburg, and Magesi hosting Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch, of course, beaten by Chiefs on Sunday. That was a cracking game. Allende now changes onto the left. Sales He says, leave it to me, I'll get it back. They're doing a good job on AmaZulu. I think they'll be very pleased with the fact that they've limited the number of shots, in fact, on Johnson's goal. He hasn't had much to do tonight, the AmaZulu number 1. And now, as we speak, Rainer's inside, looking for Letlaku. And the defender gets the touch in. Good turn as well from Khadebe.
That's what I'm talking about, listen. Somebody must be hungry enough to test the goalkeeper from that range. We saw Salis did it earlier on, but that's not enough from Mamelodi Sundowns.
Well, when the right back has to do it, it's not a good situation either. Now Letlaku into Zwane, looking to play the 1-2, read by AmaZulu. Now looking for the quick counter, but Cupido has it. This is Mokoena. Maybe looking to lift the pace a bit now. Everybody but Ronwen Williams is in the AmaZulu half. Sales drives it across goal, and that can be dangerous sometimes. It comes off Rian Hanemub. Free corner.
Most difficult time for any defenders when he's facing his own goal and he's got to make contact with the ball. You just never know where it possibly can go. Bad contact can send it cracking to the back of the net. But at the same time, if you're not sure what's happening behind you, you're forced to at least make some form of contact.
Allende plays it into the middle, doesn't find a teammate, and allows Mashiko to come away with it, and gets the foul as well. Kakana giving away that set piece. 16's pass, little slip from Zungu, recovers well. Still Pirates leading 1-0 against Marumo Gallants as they head to half-time in Bloemfontein. Can Sundowns open their scoring out? Letlaku just wide. It was bobbling around for him. He hit it with the left foot. Not far away from the goal for the 19-year-old.
He'd invented when he made contact with the ball, and the idea was excellent to try and pick that far corner. But he couldn't quite wrap his foot over the ball to keep it in.
Got rid of it very quickly. Now here comes AmaZulu. The block from Lunga and from Kakana. Cross inside. Oh! Wow. Kakana with a miscue gives away the corner, and he's most fortunate it's only a corner.
Conditions once again. We saw Ronwen Williams struggle with clearing the ball earlier from that very same scenario. Under normal circumstances, we have cleared beautifully without any issues.
So often those land up in the back of the net.
And goalkeepers not time to react to it.
Absolutely not from that range. So a rare set-piece opportunity for AmaZulu. Hanemub will go across and take it. His left foot will look to curl it in on goal. There's a polished set-piece taker. Gets a bit of a curl on it. Williams beaten in the air by the jump. And who had the last touch? Was it the goalkeeper? Is it an AmaZulu ball? It looks like it.
Got a punch to it.
Did he?
Might not have been enough, or
so he wasn't beaten in the air.
No.
My mistake. Zungu's going to leave this for Hanemub. Peter Shalulile has something to say to him. You're not seeing there is Shalulile walking with the subs, and a little word to his Namibian compatriot. They'll be in World Cup action together next month. Even when he warms up, he looks so neat. Shalulile, tracksuit top tucked into those shorts. Here's
socks
Hanemub.
up.
Nice long throw in. Sales with a clearing header. Referee said there was a bit of an elbow in there, so we have a free kick here and a chance to clear the lines for Sundowns. We move into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Would it be fair to say a fairly pedestrian first half, William, by Mamelodi Sundowns standards?
Look, the thing is, they're making an effort to actually play AmaZulu out of this field. But AmaZulu have stood strong. They've kept their discipline. They've played behind the ball. Look at the numbers behind the ball. That, for me, is the biggest challenge for Sundowns to crack that midfield open. So that, for me, it's according to plan. Like I said, this is exactly how Jipa went about it, denying Mamelodi Sundowns the space, the pockets of space, as we call it, in the attacking phase of Sundowns game.
Allende for the champions. Forward comes Lunga. Allende again. Now Reyna's running into trouble there. Nice skills again from Zwane. Loves a back heel. The chip over is dealt with by Kekana, all the way back from Mokoena to goalkeeper Williams. Not much noise from the home fans. Fairly quiet crowd we have here tonight.
They have been subdued.
Flaku loses possession. Yewa does well. Pressure from Ngwenya. Now straight down the middle in search of Reyners. Allen's got to react quickly here, and Ikram Reyners decides he's going to let that go for the corner. Keegan Allen had an excellent start with that goal against Stellenbosch. He also scored on his debut when Swallows came up to the top flight. He scored a penalty and he got 2 goals on debut. And then when he went to Supersport, he had an eventful debut as well. He got sent off. So he's a man who knows how to make an impact in his first game with a new club. Yes, Allende, a little flick on, back post. And Allen was there, but what's the decision here? Another corner. That was a little more positive from Mamelodi Sundowns. Good flick on from Allende. Needed someone at the back post there. Mokoena was trying to get in, but clipped the heels of Allen and fell down. Allende will come across. Tetron keeping an eye on Kekana. Allende takes it. Lunga. Up wide here onto the right. The Tlaku delivers. Inviting ball. Is Johnson going to stop that from going for a corner? Referee says valid effort, goalkeeper, but not successful. Another set piece as we head to half-time.
Another desperate clearance with defender facing his own goal. But once again, AmaZulu survives as long as Sundowns continue to pep that area with balls.
Allende one more time. Not cleared properly, but then Sundowns unable to utilize the opportunity. They might come here now. Lunga drives us into the middle. Another corner coming up. The pressure is mounting. Tetwa with the last touch. We hear there'll be 2 minutes added on as well, so we're into the final 3 now of this game, or of this first half, I should say.
It's a great time for Mamelodi Sundowns to get one. With the kind of pressure they're applying, it always makes an interesting discussion in the dressing room when you are able to score a goal around this time of the game.
All of those refereeing lectures never help. Here comes Allende over the head of Sales. Johnson punching it away when perhaps he had time to collect comfortably. It's going to be Sundowns' ball. They'll get a long throw in here, I fancy. No, Cupido takes it quickly. Into stoppage time we go, and 2 minutes thereof. Now, Cupido. There's going to be a last little flurry here from the home side. so they can go into the break leading. Letlaku, as he fouled, referee says no, play on, big clearance from Hanemub, and the chase on here for Mashiko. It's nicely done by Mokoena. The header high into the sky, which takes a bit of the pace off, but it takes it away from the striker as well. Now Mokoena again in search of Sales. Taken away by Letlaku. He can go on his own here. Left foot. Puts it over the top. Well, he was looking for the pass initially. Then he realized, I think, he had a bit of an opening.
That, for me, is what all I've been looking for even earlier. Sundowns players lack the vision to see the opportunity to strike the ball for some range. But even if you do, you got to try and keep it on target. The opportunity was, he pricks it up here. And there's acres of space in front of him. Phillies pedaling. Great chance indeed. Makes the decision, I'm going to go for it. But keep it low, son.
Left foot up, over the top.
But a slight change into the Sundowns approach now. The build-up play in that middle back has suddenly changed a bit. They're trying to find a long pass to get it to Sales, who's a bit more central now. And if you've got Reyners who's got speed and you've got Sales who can flick that ball, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, as we head to half-time here, William, no goals, but we can tell you Marumo Gallants have equalised in Bloemfontein against the Buccaneers. So, Daniel Msindani from Zimbabwe, it's such a great last season, has an equaliser there. Here, it's half-time. No goals in this particular encounter, so the big teams didn't look all that sharp at the weekend and are not looking particularly sharp tonight either.
Clearly, they haven't recovered from the events of the weekend, but it's that time of the season, listen. It's not, coaches don't always get it right from this beginning. It takes a bit of games before you can see signs of improvement from the combinations that they brought in for that season.
Well, these fans will be dissecting the first half, and not all that much for them to enthuse over here on this Tuesday night. I think AmaZulu will be much the happier of the two sides as they head down the tunnel for the half-time break. Score here after 45 minutes at Loftus Versfeld. The champions Mamelodi Sundowns being held by AmaZulu. It's 0-0.
Also, intended passes that don't quite fall through to the intended recipients. There's just a lot of aspects that can work in the favor of the team in possession of the ball.
2 changes then at half-time. You can see what Coach Cardoso thinks of the first half. Divine Lungu and Leklaku are off. Modiba will go to the left side of defence. Tashik Matthews into the attack in place of Leklaku.
Glimpses of brilliance from Leklaku, but in patches also, maybe the more experienced Matthews can do the job.
So Sundowns get the second half underway here at Loftus. Can AmaZulu hold out? They'll be delighted to leave with the point. They've had 4 successive losses to Mamelodi Sundowns in league matches over the last 2 seasons. I suppose when you come here, the target is fairly modest. A draw would be most satisfactory. Still a long way to go, though, for AmaZulu if they are to hold out against a team of the quality of Mamelodi Sundowns.
I'm trying to think of the discussion that went into that dressing room from Arthur Zwane. Yes, you now and then see moments where you think, that one could have gone better. But the temptation is to say, maybe let's push a little bit higher, maybe 10 yards higher of our defensive line. See if we can apply a bit of a high press and get something from pressure created. But you know at the same time, you could be opening yourself a lot of trouble. So maybe, like you said, happy with a point, happy to walk away with 1, maybe sit and see what happens. I mean, a player like Exton, who we know can turn on the magic when they're playing on the front foot, has hardly been involved. We've seen very little of him.
AmaZulu, by the way, sorry, William didn't make any changes at the break.
Based on the fact that AmaZulu are not playing as high to engage some of the more attacking players. We haven't seen much of Ngwenya, who we've had so much of. A little bit of Hadebe and Mashiko down the wide position, but not enough to combine with Ngwenya.
Just a reminder again, tomorrow night, Chiefs against Polokwane City. Williams in a bit of trouble again.
So the mistake I'm talking about, listen, the conditions are really playing a part here. Both teams should have taken some form of advantage. That was just one. What happens in a situation like Ronwin's is when you start thinking too far ahead of yourself and you take your eyes off the ball, and that can happen.
It will go against Hlangabeza.
One of the graduates from the DDC.
Yeah, they've pushed a few players up into the first team squad, and they've done it slowly as well over a couple of seasons. Now, Modiba gets the free kick. Hlangabeza again, the offender. This might be in free kick range here for someone like Aubrey Modiba or Tebogo Mokoena. In fact, it was a foul by Ngwenya, not by Hlangabeza. Johnson trying to arrange matters. Players pushing forward, looking for the chip onto the edge of the penalty area, but Allende and Mokoena might have some other ideas here.
I see an opportunity for matches as well.
Mokoena floats it in. Feliz Cupido. Was there a handball? Sundowns think so. Crowd do too. Referee doesn't.
High leg starts showing is also another.
Driving into the area now. Shot to the near post, and Johnson puts that around for a corner.
great save, listen, because once again, you know, if you hit it that low and that ball just flies away, and the way he turned it around.
And over the top here from Kekana. Well, you saw Aubrey Modiba just indicating the referee he felt the defender got hit by the ball under the arm. They were certainly quite convinced there. Yes, Cupido. Oh, that does look like a penalty.
Yes.
Arms raised. Well away from the body by Mashiko. Did the referee miss one there?
And how would he, maybe by using some of the latest laws of the game, describe why he couldn't give it?
Now Zungu. Just from looking for Hanamub, who's been prepared to run up and down that left-hand side. Wonderful engine on him. We've seen that over the last couple of seasons. His time at Chipper and then at AmaZulu. Cover from Keegan Allen, one of the new players. He's into the squad from Richards Bay. Sales, still Sales. Nicely done by Hanamub, but then given away. Carter getting a little bit restless now, and understandably so too. That will amp the pressure up on the home side. Here's Zwane. They got tripped from behind by the new Zimbabwean signing. Had a yellow in this game yet, but the talking to from the referee there for Ngwenya. Modiba, slipped by Matthews. Zangabeza, can he get things going here for AmaZulu? Moving up quickly. He's got support from Khadebe. Long ball here in search of Eckstein. Bit of space for Paul Eckstein. Maybe some of his magic now. Hanamub, left-footed cross. Williams collects comfortably.
Slight change with AmaZulu. I think a little bit more on the front foot. They're creating a bit of width. And they flank that ball into the box. A bit more than we saw in that first half.
Gaining confidence, perhaps. Allende. Mokoena. Now Bronkakana forward. Straight into the defence on the edge of the area. To the legs of Khadebe. Taken away though. Matthews out wide.
Provided the assist to Sales over the weekend.
Sales, Matthews, goal for Rainers. My word, that was beautifully done. That's an excellent finish, but the build-up was superb.
Indeed, that for me is, yes, fantastic build-up. 1-2 touches, which took away the defenders from their place like in an instant, and of course the connection from Rainers was something out of this world. Great goal, team goal.
Well, they've been patient, it must be said. Mamelodi Sundowns and Ikram Rainers gets his account going for the league this season. 2 goals already against Richards Bay, you'll remember, in the MTN8. What a lovely chip from Sales. Great header from Matthews. Well onside, Rainers. He doesn't need a second invitation. On the full volley.
Matthews' second assist in 2 games. I was just mentioning how he assisted over the weekend with that pass to Rainers. And yes, maybe Keegan just lost his positioning slightly, not to be able to be close enough to put him off.
Now, does that spark a little more energy and tempo in this Mamelodi Sundowns lineup? Free now, in the sense that they've got the lead, free to play. Nice first touch from Modiba. Here's Tembazwane. Not seen enough from him tonight in terms of his skills. Matthews looked to play him in, was cut out by Allen. Again, Ngwenya just slipping. So here comes Sales. Slowing it down again, Sundowns. So those changes from Miguel Cardoso doing the trick. Matthews coming on as a sub and providing the assist. Bobby Modiba's liven things up a little on the left as well.
It's always Sales for me. He's getting a bit more involved. He doesn't stay at the top of the formation. He drifts a little bit further back, but that's where the combination starts. And also the movement of the passes, Chris, are a little bit quicker than we saw into the first half. AmaZulu are being caught a bit flat.
Here's Modiba, pass on Matthews, good little chip. Johnson takes that off the head of Reyners. Hurt himself in the process. They can ill afford to lose another goalkeeper with a 40 still out. The medical team will come on. Reyners actually outscored Ribeiro in total goals last season for Sundowns, 23-21. He's got 3 already in this campaign if you include the 2 cup goals.
Yeah, from his own defender. Collides is Johnson. But Matthews is another that for me is coming with a bit of life. You know, he also plays into the pockets. I think this is one thing that I think is growing in as far as his game. Normally he will come a little bit wider and use his speed. But now he's into the pockets. He's one that is dishing the small passes into the pockets.
Now, what's Arthur Zwane got up his sleeve? Simo Dladla, his assistant. Sundowns chairman in the yellow shirt. Fleming Berg to his right is the technical director, and then flanked, of course, by Sugar Mabunda. Berger Singh. That relief more than anything else from Mamelodi Sundowns.
This is what Reyners looked like. It's like, thank God. It's taking this long. What a relief.
Now Reyners battling away still. Allen takes it away. Here's Mtetwa. Comes off Sundowns, and let's see if AmaZulu might be able to respond here. Surely a foul by Mokoena. Need a bit more from this man, Pule Eksteen. You know his skills. Good running again from Hanamub. Here's the ball laid back. Chance in the box. Not yet 100% cleared. Phillies battling in there. And the free kick is going AmaZulu's way, it would seem. The medical team will be needed again. He's climbing all over Allende, but well, he was late there, Philly, so interesting to see if that does go AmaZulu's way.
I think it's Sundowns' way.
He wasn't very clear with his signalling there, the referee. But he was right on top of the action.
Because Phillips misses the ball completely and he steps on Allende. And could he have avoided him?
Phillies apologizes. Both him and Allende must go off and then return. Two injured players running off, only to return. Seems a bit silly, that rule. Now there's our winner tonight of our Sponisi and win with Betway. Best dressed supporter in the house. Congratulations.
I can understand his energy. If you've been told that there's an immediate 10,000 to your account. Man.
The name of that gentleman, Ruben Malose. He gets 10 grand as the best dressed supporter tonight. And then we hear, William, that he's also got a Betway account, which means that the money is doubled. So remember that if you're coming to the stadium and you're going to be well dressed and you fancy that you might have a chance of winning this 10,000 prize every match day, then make sure that you have a Betway account as well, because that means you can double your bucks. Very nicely done, Modiba. Saleh, this is better now from Mamelodi Sundowns, steaming forward. Saleh's going to go himself, puts it wide. Left-footed effort. Well, Tembazwane is a little frustrated, but Saleh is well within his rights to go. It was opening up in front of him.
No doubt. As well, that's exactly what I thought. Except for that, he didn't find the target. But look at how he drops. That, for me, is the other. That's where his strength is beginning to show now. Whoa, it even takes a deflection towards goal from Hanamub.
It was actually shanked wide from Saleh, and Hanamub close to an own goal there. Marcelo Allende from Chile. On a fairly chilly night, not collected comfortably by Johnson, but cleared away to safety. Up to the sweeper keeper. That'll be Sundowns' ball. Last touch of Hanamub. Finds Mukwena. Zwane to Saleh. Again comes to collect.
First touch has gotten so much better, Saleh, regardless of the condition that the team is playing under. I think overall, from the time that he first came, he just didn't seem too comfortable on his first touch.
Now Eckstein through the middle here. Eckstein again keeps going. That's a very good challenge in there from Modiba. No, it's an illegal challenge, says the referee. What did you think there? Maybe that was the challenge that the referee didn't like. This looked like a good tackle.
Yes, yes, indeed. That's 100% correct. It's the incident earlier.
Eckstein with a floater, too close to the goalkeeper. Score update from Bloemfontein, an hour played there with Gallants hosting Pirates. That's still 1-1 and still 0-0 at Dobsonville, where Orbit College are having their first ever home match in the top flight against Siwelele. Five games tomorrow, by the way, William. A very good picture come the weekend, where the league has a bit of a break for the MTN8 semi-finals. Just who the early starters are. A couple of games in KwaZulu-Natal tomorrow night. Golden Arrows against Richards Bay. Durban City will be hosting Chipper. Chiefs Polokwane City, we've mentioned already. 7:30 kickoff at Soccer City live on your World of Champions. Saleh's ball for Modiba. Now what's he going to do? Little floater to the back post. Matthews.
Once again, Saleh is one that put the pass through to the wide area. Eventually, I don't know if it was Mtunyelo who crossed it, but I'm telling you, it's working. If you're not convinced about Saleh's ability, not as a top striker, but maybe as a 10, because today he's not playing out and out on top. He's more like a 10, but you want to play like him because he's so tall and get to the end of most of the crosses. But he's just as effective dropping a little bit deeper to pick up the ball.
Well, he made a little bit of a signal there at the bench. I wonder if he's suggesting he's tired or he's injured or he's fine. Here's Matthews. Clearance away by Tariq Filiz. Khadebe gets away from Eckstein. Kakana got a nice little touch in there. Khadebe chasing. Whose ball is that? AmaZulu going to be making some changes now. Ben Mochwari will come and add a bit of stability to the midfield. And Diswa Sitoli is the young man who will get an opportunity here to show us what he's all about.
It's just about freshening the legs more than anything. I think with the Sundowns picking up the pace now and seemingly taking over the game in that middle of the park. So to others, when it speaks of the legs getting heavy, not being able to close early. So Mutswari will be one of those that will help strengthen that middle by just shutting down that passage.
Well, we know Mutswari's CV, of course, with the likes of Wits and Orlando Pirates previously. Sitoli played for Maritzburg United in the Motsepe Foundation before moving to AmaZulu at the beginning of last season. All 10 appearances he had in the league were off the bench in the last campaign. So yet to start a league match for AmaZulu. Indeed, no cup matches either, but this is a chance to make a name for himself. And here, Williams is in trouble. What a chance that was. He hacked it wide. Eckstein. He had the right idea, though, it must be said. And Ronwen Williams went walkabout.
Maybe not quite so. If the player is broken through, yes, maybe he came out a little bit too early because he was caught in no man's land. It only needed Eckstein to be better in his execution. But look at the run from deep. He seized the moment. But the quality of the pass wasn't too long. Sometimes as a goalkeeper, you anticipate. If it's too long, then it's yours. But that was short. Oh, how unlucky.
He was definitely in the wrong postcode there, Ronald Williams. William. That is a let-off.
A big one. But every now and then, AmaZulu does explode with excellent transition play. That was excellent to finally find the man with a pass from deep. But also the run from deep from Eckstein for me is somebody that reads the game and see the moment, and the space that he chose to attack was brilliant. No, it's good moments. AmaZulu have created this one moment was certainly one of their best.
Here comes Sales. Reyners waits in the middle. He's going to drag it back here for Matthews, who's got time. Modiba with the left foot, shakes it wide. That's a chance and a half.
Saleh's hand is raised very high, I think, with his contribution in as far as the build-up play and his effort to set the players on the front foot, which includes himself as well. I mean, Matthews, since he came, he's been on the money.
Well, Modiba misses the chance. He's still thinking about that. And then the foul, and here AmaZulu every now and then threatening to get themselves back into this game. Mokoena, Zwane. Now Modiba needs to make up for that missed opportunity.
Total control from Mamelodi Sundowns.
got this 1-goal lead, and we are approaching the final 20 minutes now. Zwane back to Kakana. Wants it back again. Simply kept possession at the moment. AmaZulu do the chasing. Nicely done. They've got Suare on his tail there, but sold him a little bit of a dummy. So live matches tomorrow. Chiefs against Polokwane City. We remind you, and Magesi hosting Stellenbosch up at Sheshego. Sekhukhune United against Galaxy is the fifth and final game. Those matches that are not live on your World of Champions, you can watch on streaming, of course. So every single team, every single moment of every single game in the Betway Premiership live on your World of Champions. Just a little too strong there for Diba. Motswari gives that away to Reyners. Sales. Little chip here for Matthews. Square ball here, Reyners. Just passed.
Now,
looking to do much the same as they did earlier.
Good football. There's now excellent telepathy between these players. Sales, Matthews, Reyners. It's all happening. I don't think you've ever seen Salis playing this well. Like, I mean, for me, we see him as a striker, the one that runs all the way. But now you can see there's so much brains behind every move that he makes. And when he's got the ball, the options that he chooses to play the ball to, it's so effective.
Just the two changes made so far by Mamelodi Sundowns. Shalulile and Jaden Adams warming up. Shalulile, remember, just that 1 goal behind Siyabonga Nomveti's record in the PSL era, 128 to 129. They got Bradley Grobler on their tail. The two, oh, lovely ball from Sales again. Well, just a little too strong for Matthews. Now Hlangabeza. That comes off the head of Cupido, and Ngwenya will settle for the corner.
That's the only danger AmaZulu poses to Mamelodi Sundowns, is when they play translucent football. Sometimes I think in the middle and in defense, Mamelodi Sundowns have had it going their way too long, such that every now and then AmaZulu, when they make these efforts to play positive, Sundowns are taken aback.
Khadebe will take this. Clearance away at the near post. Rain is back helping out in defence. Now Eckstein. Khadebe. Two minds there.
Clearly taking a shot was the wrong option. There were players on the far side. Just deliver a cross and see what happens in that box. So you see, listen, almost identical approach to the game against Chippa. While Mamelodi Sundowns will be viewed as if they didn't play that well, but for me, I still feel like you look at the ball position stats, 72% in their favor, and you look at the attempts that they made, 12. Unfortunately, 4 were only on target. So, like I said, for me, those can be fixed. But as long as the team is playing that well to play on the front foot and create moments in their attacking third, that is good. And today, yes, it's the same thing. They've been brilliant. Yes, they've only got one, but the chance that are being created, listen, it's not too many teams will create this. The movements. off the ball.
Well, Othmazwane still believes his side are in with a chance here. And remember, Chippa United came from behind to share the spoils of Mamelodi Sundowns on Saturday at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. In from Sales, gets the return pass here from Reyners. Back to Mokoena.
If you don't score that second goal, Arthur was saying, you always leave yourself open for the opposition to come back.
Auburn College newcomers have taken the lead against Siwelele in their league match being played at Dobsonville. Let's see Korping, remember him?
Yeah, West. And so many other teams as well.
20 level, never really kicked on. Maybe this is his season. Still 1-1 Gallants and Orlando Pirates. Both of those games into the final 15 minutes, as is the case here at Loftus Versfeld. So there's a goal everywhere around the country tonight. 3 matches, 5 tomorrow in the Betway Premiership. And of course, the weekend is just the 2 MTN8 clashes, both on Saturday, 3 o'clock at Orlando Stadium. Pirates against Sundowns. That's a sold-out game, by the way. And then 6 o'clock at the Dani Craven Stadium in Stellenbosch, the home side up against Sekhukhune United. First leg of the semi-final for both of those ties. The second leg the weekend after. And before that weekend will be another round of league fixtures midweek next week. Sales. Reyners just waiting. In the end, it falls here to Eckstein. Little ball over the top. Chases on here for Sitoli. Just come on, beaten in the challenge by Kekana. Matthews coming back there to help out. Peter Shalulile and Adams are at the bottom of your screen. They're standing by to come on. Here comes Matthews. Reyners might be offside here. So inside to Sales. He deserves a goal. Saved by Johnson. Missed by Reyners.
Quality all around. You appreciate what Mamelodi Sundowns are doing. You can see the desperation that has crept in even in the first, because they certainly do deserve way more than they've scored. Matthews, for me, what an entry. Also, presence of mind.
There was a flag for offside here as Reyners picked up the rebound. I'm not sure he was, though, when that shot was taken. Anyway, missed the target. Still a single goal separating these sides, and there's a chance now for AmaZulu. Ball inside here for Ngwenya. Is this going to be his first goal? He puts it over the top. What a chance for AmaZulu to equalise. Well, they brought him from Zimbabwe to score goals. He'll be very disappointed he didn't take that chance.
You can already see the pattern from AmaZulu in particular. Game is transition, and they've managed to actually outdo Sundowns in many different occasions, but can't find the back of nut. You're not going to get chances of that nature. That was glaring. Yes, he still needed to do a bit of work.
Inside,
yeah. But then, as you bring it around, make sure you got presence of mind to just roll that ball into the back of net. You're that close, you don't need to shoot.
Swane and Reyners come off. Adams and Shalulile come on. Shalulile, who missed the first game against Richards Bay in the MTN8. There was talk of him having left to go and join a club in Tunisia or in the Middle East. That all turned out to be a fair amount of hot water, or hot air, I should say. Now we wait to see if Shalulile can get that all-important career milestone. Matthews takes it quickly, finds Peter Shalulile. their chances, Mamelodi Sundowns, but I suppose it's true that AmaZulu too have conjured a few things up on the counter.
It'll be interesting to see what those numbers say, especially as far as shots taken and those that were in target. I think that's why they've let AmaZulu down. Even Mamelodi Sundowns for that matter. But at least Johnson was the busier of the two goalkeepers.
Well, William, we do know people who can provide you with that. Let's see if we can find out if shots on target for AmaZulu. Lovely ball from Shalulile. Yes, Modiba. Still Modiba. Slipping. Gets it too strong. Looking to play it into the path of Shalulile there.
And there was the speed wobble.
Now double sub for AmaZulu, Banjwa and Ryan Moon. Wenya, no surprise, he's come off. I think tiring a little bit in the closing stages.
Yes, he gets into the areas, but he still needs to be very composed if you're going to be successful in this country. Lots of composure is needed.
Now, there you go, William. Shots on target in this game.
That is clearly AmaZulu's problem. With all the play, that looked very positive, and they got there, and they had the goalkeeper under all kinds of pressure.
Total attempts for AmaZulu 5 and 16 for Sundowns. Maybe also the conversion rate for Sundowns a little disappointing tonight.
I said earlier, 12 over the weekend, only 4 on target. That tells a story. That's not about the bad games, not about the tactics. Tactics are excellent. In fact, if anything, AmaZulu, even from the game they lost against Stellis in the cup game, they also played very well, except for that they went finding the back of net. So against Orbit as well.
Sales, Allende. Shalulile. Offside against Artur Sales. The ball was out of play on the far side. Throw into Mamelodi Sundowns. We're into the final stages here at Loftus Versfeld. Still the one goal. Still hangs in the balance a little, William Shongwe. Can AmaZulu get a surprise equaliser here?
This is football. It's an ugly beast. That is no mercy. No sentiments.
We love it still, though. Now Mokoena looking for Matthews. Strongest Kadebe, the right back. He's a real talent for the future. And then we'll look to spin it out over on that left-hand side. Lovely ball for Anamubus. Not much in the way of markers for the moment. Floated fairly comfortably into the arms of Ronwen Williams.
If it's that comfortable, it's lower, it gives a chance to the goalkeeper to adjust. Good footwork from Ron Williams, blocks it easily.
So what was it about Ronwen at the age of 18 that led you and others at Supersport United to give him a debut? I mean, a teenager in goal is a rarity. What did you see in him?
That's the Champions League against Maklama United.
Lesotho.
Of Lesotho, yeah. It's played in Polokwane. And Rowan Fernandez He's having pains all over his body. He's just returned from Germany and he hasn't been playing too many games. So Coach Gavin says, we need to rest him. And then he says, yeah, your work is going to be tested. I'm going to throw your 2 boys in.
Who's the other one?
Sherwin Naika.
Okay.
Yes. So now we debate who starts. Then eventually Ronan gets the note. And guess what? Goes on and plays a beauty, saves a penalty. We lead 2-0 and we go to Lesotho. We win that game as well. And that was basically the summary of how we
now,
made it.
sorry, here's Allende. This is Sales. Queued up for him. Good save, Johnson. Although, did he know much about that? Now, that's the story of Ronwen Williams' debut. Back when, 2010, 2012, William?
20,
almost
10.
500 games later. He's still going, but the coach is gone. The goalkeeper coach is... It was January 2011.
Nothing lasts forever, Christian.
Under 4 minutes plus stoppage time remain here at Loftus for AmaZulu. And then looking to get Hannemum going again.
Now,
Still full of running. He has the ball across the face of goal. Maybe a bit too strong. Sitoli trying to keep it in play. Unsuccessful.
Hannemum somehow, I think he's playing more of a wing-back now, more than a left full-back. He's way ahead of the action, but you're going to love Keegan because he always spots him with this great diagonal pass to find him on the run.
The Zulu ball. Closing stages here. Looking for a shock equalizer. Into that danger zone. Mochwari gets it back. Allen's offside. Just for a moment, he thought he was in there, the centre back.
For his second of the season.
Yeah, there were 4 of them offside. Other 3 not interfering with play, of course, but Sundowns moved up very quickly. Now, from touch line, we can tell you 3 minutes to be added on. So, not too much time left here for AmaZulu if they are to get an equaliser. Jaden Adams has gone down. Just come on, of course, is one of the changes. He's getting instructions from all over the place, from Zwane, from Simo Dladla, Tlangabeza as well. Well, he thinks they can still do something.
Up until it's over. It's not.
This is not a good sign for Jaden Adams. Looks very uncomfortable. Hasn't been on the pitch long. Well, they're going to have to make a change. Musa Lebusa standing by to come on, so he just wants to close up the shop there, Coach Cardoso. Is he okay? Looks like he was going to return. So Lebusa is coming on. Will depart. Adams will stay on. This is the last change for Mamelodi Sundowns.
So what happens in that center of defense?
Well, Cupido will go to the right.
Yes.
He's played there before in his earlier days. Here's Mtetwa at the back. Get this forward for AmaZulu. Chases on for Moon, along with Lebusa. Ryan Moon. Foul against AmaZulu there. That seemed a little bit harsh. A little push there on Lebusa. Is that what the linesman didn't like?
A shoulder charge is acceptable.
Yes.
But a stretched hand is something else.
Cleared up for us by William Shongwe. Yes, Shalulile and Allen and Allende getting it back here for Matthews. Oh, lovely touch from Matthews. He gets the second goal. That's a superb touch from Tashrik Matthews. And in the end, Mamelodi Sundowns, I suppose, deserve it of their second.
Indeed. Sucker punch, because AmaZulu at the stage, you still thought maybe, just maybe. But once again, there were a bit more on the front foot, and when that happens, when you start dropping your guard defensively, this is how you get caught. And AmaZulu will be reminded about the same situation that happened last season as well. I mean, they were there, and at the death, they considered. But anyway, they were losing in this one. But it's not the same, listen.
It's good work from Allende coming back, but look at the first touch here. Then perhaps a bit fortunate as the defender overruns it. But he deserves that goal, Matthews, for the impact he's made here in the second half.
So another assist, what do you call it, from Sales?
No, it was Allende who played that square, and then I think the assist really is the ricochet off the defender. Oh, excuse me, it was Sales.
It was Sales, yeah.
So borrow your glasses for the rest of the game.
But Shalulile as well contributed. He was one that made the flick to send it to Sales. Yes.
That one, I think I'll argue with you. I think he missed the header. Him and Allen missed the header.
Listen, you definitely need to visit the optometrist, eh? I've been keeping it away. I thought maybe, but this time
he's got a nice pair of glasses there, Arthur Zwane.
Borrow them.
So 5 minutes in the end were added on. We were told 3, but another 2. Shalulile beaten by Mtetwa. Slangabeza leaves it behind and allows Adams to steal it away. He's still battling Adams a little bit. Here is Matthews. Shalulile is offside, so he's got to wait for a bit of support here from Modiba. Squares it back. Shalulile, is this going to be 1-9? No, it's not. Hanamub clears it away, only as far as Adams.
Better second half, if I may say, for Mamelodi Sundowns. And at least the passing game for me is what was revived. We saw a whole lot better in the way that they started to find one another. They controlled the game. AmaZulu only in transition, but the construction of passes is what you want to see. Staying compact in the build-up, a little bit of the press, though AmaZulu didn't come up with much build-up, so they bypassed the middle and played the long one. But for me, it's the attacking phase of the game that looked so brilliant.
Now Sales. Shalulile waits. Sales into the side netting. They're trying to queue up Shalulile for that record goal. Didn't find him. Marumo Gallants lead Orlando Pirates by 2-1 in the other match tonight. Whistle goes here against Matthews. Marumo 2, Pirates 1. They're going to be sitting at the bottom of the table after 2 matches, the Buccaneers.
Who coached Marumo Gallants last season, of course?
Marumo Gallants will go top of the table because they won, of course, at the weekend.
Not a good start for Wadu.
He's got Sundowns on Saturday in the MTN 8. Here comes Adams now, up against Motswari, the 2 number 8s. have around 20 seconds remaining. Can they get this ball into the danger zone? Only find Johnson. Tanik Philly's pushing forward. Referee's decided that's it. So 2 goals in the end from Mamelodi Sundowns ensures their first victory of the new season. It keeps up their 100% run at home.